What's up, team? How you guys doing tonight? Welcome to the Ivy League live stream. I'm Justin. We're gonna get into a lot of stuff today. I'm gonna wait for a couple minutes. We do have a couple people on. Thank you guys for joining us. So let's start with this one. I want to apologize to you guys for the frustrating couple days that I've had. Right? It's not losing money. It's not about losing money. I haven't lost any money. I made money today. Right, I was well aware of the type of environment, and I'm going to get into reason why, and I'm going to show you I'm going to show you a few reasons on the technical chart, on a technical basis, why I thought, we were going to come to the downside. But what led to it? Nobody is talking about this, right? Nobody's talking about it because they clearly don't listen when they're spoken to. All right, I want to get into the thumbnail of this title so you guys can stop being lied to, right? A lot of people like to come out here and jam a lot of stuff down your throat. All right, I'm going to make sure everything looks good. All right, we're good. So, again, I'm going to start doing these live streams early around this time because... All right, I just wanted to make sure the stream was good. It says record. I don't think we have any issues. If you guys could, take the time real quick. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already subscribed. We're going to get into a lot of stuff tomorrow. We have Powell tomorrow. You had a Fed member come on today. Sorry, I had to turn Kramer down. You had a Fed member come on today and really help this market to the downside. People clearly don't listen. All right? He... specifically, and we're going to get into it, pretty much help the market sell off for a few reasons why, right? We're going to get into that right now. We're going to get into what, like the sentiment, right? The sentiment right now, I've already seen a chart that oh, that's why, guys. Give me 1 second. Oop. Okay. All right, I should be good. Sorry, I just want to make sure that nothing on the stream messes up. If something happens that I can be aware, I have it on my phone, I can be aware that something's happened. So right now, as far as the market's going to be concerned, I'm going to get into that, and I'm going to get into the thumbnail of the title of the stream. You guys are being lied to. All right. And then we're going to go into a few charts and a few things that I'm looking at. I told you guys that I was shorting AMD. I went short AMD. I went short the SPY. So this morning, I do want to apologize to members who joined us in the morning because I was up until 3 o'clock again last night. Woke up at 5, and at like 6:30, 7 o'clock, I fell asleep. I'm wore out. Like, this stuff takes a lot of work. And that's why I ask if you guys could hit the like button, subscribe, because it's only me here. And I'm trying to give you guys valuable information that people want to charge a ton of money for in overpriced courses, overpriced, one-on-one mentorship. If you guys want mentorship, if you want to work with me hand in hand, one-on-one, my link is in the description. My email is in the description. You can follow me on Twitter, Ivy League Trading, twitter.com. I've been perfect, right? I've been doing this for a long time, and it doesn't surprise me, but I am thankful. I will step back and say I'm thankful for it because the minute you get over your skis and start coming in with a big head, the market's going to put you in your place, right? Sunday night, Monday night, Monday day, I told you guys, TLT. You need to watch TLT because I'm telling you right now, today it was NVIDIA, but the 2 days of TLT could have paid you so much more than what you think you can get paid on NVIDIA. Now, and it can be, it also will depend on the time frame that you get it. But you just had a huge move in TLT in 2 days, and I called out the bottom for you guys. Did I know it was the bottom? No, I didn't. But I read the signs that tell me the chances or the probabilities of this happening is greatly, is greater than it not happening, right? That's what this game is about. This game is about probabilities. Why did I think Nvidia was going to sell off? Why did I think the tech sector was going to sell off today? Why did I think that just because Nvidia had blowout earnings? Like, yes, it's crazy. But the probability, if I just look at the chart, and I don't know what else is going to, I don't even know that they report earnings. The chart told you what was probably more than likely going to happen, right? Along with a few other reasons, right? So let's first start with Powell and tomorrow and why these markets sold off. All right. Well, we had Nvidia. It wasn't even really Nvidia, but AMD, right? Nvidia has just, I don't think I've ever seen a company like this just expand. There hasn't been a company that just exploded on the rate of change quarter to quarter like Nvidia has, right? They've jumped what, 10, 20, 100 fold. It's insane. It really is. And good for them, right? Good for them. We're getting ready to come into an environment where that may slow down a little bit, but they're still going to be the top dog, right? If only we could be a psychic and could have known this years ago. So, what was the main important thing? Because you didn't really have a sell-off in the markets until Philly Fed came in, he had his interview today on CNBC. If you didn't see it, we put in a double top. I literally got short at that double top. I wanted to go to a 3-minute. As soon as we pushed back up to this level right here at 444.52, when it shot, because we broke down through it. If you guys remember during the trading day, we broke it, but we came back up. When we broke this and worked our way back up, as it was going up, I got short the SPY, right? Immediately this morning, I got short AMD. That trade got messed up because I put on a lot of size on AMD, right? I pushed too many buttons, right? Right now, until I get my other monitor and get this, because I've moved the stream, I'm trading on my phone right now. It takes me a little too long, and stupid things can happen like what happened this morning. When I go to trade, I like to have everything that I have ready, right? So all I have to do is click, right? That way I can if I go short, I'm shorting into strength. I'm clicking to what I would feel as though would be, coming up into like the area where I think it's not going to get too much further than where it's at. All right. So I'm shorting into strength and I'm buying into weakness, right? That's what I like to do. So I like to have all my stuff set up. I pushed too many buttons. I got right into it. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I wasn't even really down on it. I wasn't down on it, but I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to have a timed, planned entry, as I want to help you guys do and learn to be able to do that, right? So last night's lesson, and last night, more importantly, which is going to lead me into the Fed. So that was the frustration around this morning. I ended up getting back into AMD. I got back into the SPY with no worries. I had to stop the stream. I deleted it because I was just really upset, right? This little girl over there has just been keeping me. I can't afford to be kept up. It takes me a lot of time to put the stream together, thumbnails, doing all that stuff, trying to come up with trade plans for you guys, and also do my own research and my own analysis and things like that, and then also getting ready for the live stream for the next day. So it's a lot. It's a lot for one person. I only have so much time from the sunrise to sunset. I was just getting a little over, I put in a lot of work, guys. I don't think you guys understand how much goes behind some of the things that I do, right? There's a reason why I can say, hey, we want to watch TLT on Sunday and coming into Monday and really try to, make it the vocal point because I made it a thumbnail. Now, and coming into this morning, I was really excited for the day we were going to have, and I told you guys, what's today? What is today? What's today? And it happened again. It's happened. Literally, I have done this every single time this week, this whole year. I can always bank on it. It just hasn't happened maybe 3, maybe 4 times. But it's okay because that small risk that I put out there has been well worth it, right? I'm really green on these days, right? So let's go into why the market sold off. Why did the market sell off? Well, you had Fed Harkin, whatever his name is, the Philly Fed, all right, come on and have a sit down with CNBC's What's his name? Now I forget his name. That's not cool. Come on now, Steve. Joins Wall Street. Steve. Oh no, you guys know his name. He does. He's on CNBC. So if you guys seen the Harker interview, you guys got to really start reading into him. All right. Well, I'm having a brain fart. Obviously because I'm just so wore out from doing all the things that it is that I do. Um, he came out and said a lot of things. So when you guys, so I've said this before. Okay, when I told you guys the Fed member from like Minnesota or wherever, Kashkari, right? Neil Kashkari came out right before SVB and all that fun stuff actually came to light and happened. So they don't just come out and talk for no reason, guys. They don't give the markets, us market participants, their job is to let the market know what's going on, right? It's not just Powell. I'm talking every voting Fed member, every member that comes out to speak, just about you can tell what, if it's meaningful or if it's not. You could tell today was meaningful. What did he say? Right? He brought up the balance sheet. He said nobody's talking about the balance sheet. We're still unwinding the balance sheet. We are still we're about to have these tuitions, college tuition loans start coming back to be repaid, right? He pretty much came out and said, if this is just feeding off of the sentiment that we have now, you have, right? There is data. If you go type in delinquencies and put year over year, right? Rate of change. You are higher than you are. You are at an all-time high for delinquencies. You're at an all-time high on delinquencies year over year. That rate of change has surpassed 2008. So if we're still at a low with delinquencies, they're getting bigger at a rate that they are much bigger than 2008. We're at all-time highs right now on the rate of change of delinquencies. All right, things are starting to happen. You guys can feel it. I can feel it. I've been coming on here and telling you guys, what did I say last night on the live stream? I said last night, you're going to see people start to lose their jobs, and it only takes a few for this snowball to affect. We had a big one with tech, right? You had a big one with all the technology companies that overhired, from Amazon to Meta, all right? But it's when it starts going outside of just that one little arena. You didn't have too much because there were other places for them to go. There's other things for them to do. Uber, you name it, right? They could probably, where there's a will, there's a way, I'm sure. In a lot of the areas that they're in, I'm sure there's other work for them. So it wasn't too big of a deal. But now what happened today? And I said this last night. This is the timing, guys. I said last night, you're going to start seeing people get laid off. What happened? Not AT&T, but T-Mobile came out and said that they're laying off 5,000 employees. That's just one. What else do we have? We have retail, right? Macy's, Foot Locker, Dick's, right? A lot of these retailers are starting to see a slow in spending. This is the time lag that's catching up, right? We're not even talking interest rates either. We're not even talking about the interest rates. This is more to do with the amount of time that it's been with gas prices the way they are, homes the way that they are, the amount, the price of homes, right? Now we have the Fed lowering its balance sheet. I have this for you because this, I feel like, is stuck in. This is from Lizanne Sanders, but my girl from SoFi. Oh no. No. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm having a brain fart. So, this is. I just wanted to show you this. This is it doesn't matter where it is or which one you use, right? This is financial conditions, right? We're stuck in a rock and a hard place. Do you start tightening financial conditions? Right? You've already tightened X amount. You've added liquidity for the banks, right? We're starting to see a little uptick in financial conditions tightening from this chart, right? I brought it up last night. But more importantly, you have, and what's his name said, and I think you're going to get Powell to kind of say we're going to see the data, we're going to see this, we're going to wait and see that. Oh, Liz, that's her name. Liz, she just followed me. That's awesome. That's awesome. Sweet. So, you have this thing going on with China, right? You have this thing going on with China. And that's also a deflationary event if it becomes something major, right? That's also a deflationary event. You have a lot of things that are coming around to take its that you have a lot of things that are starting to happen that makes it seem like maybe they went a little too much, because now you're starting to see it a year and a half or so later, right? Guys, I've showed you this a good amount of times, right? Because I think it's really important that you have an idea of what it is that, you need to give yourself a time frame, or like not a time, because every time is not the same, right? Every time is not the same. There's different things that go on between wars, just different things that happen as far as sentiment, right? 2 years prior, during a rate hike cycle, 2 years after, this is GDP with your with rate hike cycles, right? This is a really good chart. This is the chart that I look at, and when you've had so many people still bring up this Atlanta Fed raising GDP, it's not surprising. Look here, 1977 to 1980, 2 years prior, 5.7. It did lower to 4.4 during the cycle, but again, minus 0.2. That's negative, right? So you can take a picture of this, look it over. You kind of want to actually look at this backwards, right? From right to left. Because what it is it's showing you when GDP 2 years after starts to slow down to a moderate rate, quantitative easing starts, right, to pick things back up. It's just a cycle that goes on, right? You've had a huge cycle from 2008 until now. There's been a lot of money throughout this 10, 15, 20, 15 years, right? From you're going to have retirees coming in. I know my parents will start to retire. They'll probably never retire. When I say that, don't get me wrong, because they are good, right? They have everything that they want, but I just don't see them not doing something. That's what I mean by that, right? Maybe they will. Maybe they will just take that boat, right? Walk out of their house, take the boat off the dock, go about their day. Maybe that day will come, right? I don't see it happening anytime soon. But anyway, Fed balance sheet, college tuition coming up. You're starting to see these retail, you saw these retail earnings and the news that came from that a couple days ago. Sorry, Liz followed me, and that's kind of made me nervous. I'm not even going to lie. But that's awesome. I love Liz. So, yeah, Treasuries pulled back. We had said that they were a bit overextended, right? So if you don't know, right, and you're new at this, you have just pretty much had the whole yield curve it was inverted, where the short end of the bond was higher than the long end of bond, right? You're buying a bond and you're going to get paid less for a 20, 30-year duration. Doesn't seem right, does it? No, because there's short-term risk. Well, now we've had that long end of the bond start to bring its way up. So pretty much the whole bond yield the yield curve has just been lifted, right? Higher rates, higher for longer, they say. So again, I want to just touch on, if you did not see it, go back and watch that interview with the Philly Fed Harkin, because he gave you some words in there that said beginning of the year. He doesn't know. I'm not saying he said they're going to cut rates beginning of the year, first quarter. He didn't say that. But it feels to me that they're under the understanding that things are starting. You just had data today. Yes, you just had jobless claims come in lower. But look at durable goods, negative 5.2. We know there's been a contraction right? From all the data that comes in, whether it moves the market or not, whether it's highlighted or not. A lot of people may not look at it. Look at the world, right? It's not just us. It's Europe, Australia, Germany. There's a lot going on, and it's all happening at once, and I think it's going to start catching up, and this rate of change of it catching up, we're really going to start seeing the second half of this year. So I want you guys to be aware of that, right? Again, we had durable goods orders today, -5, right? Negative 5.2%. Initial jobless claims, 230 versus a previous 240,000, right? Yeah, that's a bit lower. Okay. All right. It was under expectations. Consensus was 240,000, forecasted 242,000, right? So, again, I came on last night and said that there seems to be a lot of people that are spending money they don't have. A lot of people aren't in the markets, right? There are more people that don't have retirements or try to manage their own money. You know, there's more people that don't do it that should. And a lot of these people are spending their money, you know, and the money that they don't necessarily have. And I really think that we're going to, I've personally been feeling it, and I'm not a perma bear, right? I don't know how bad it's going to get, if it's going to be that bad, just what sectors really start to feel it. I mean, you're seeing retail, right? What does that mean for Christmas? I would also think this should be about the time of the year where they would expect the next quarter that they would be able to report decent earnings with school coming around the corner and Christmas, right? But we're going to see. We're going to see, because there's a lot going on where the consumer is kind of being strapped for cash here. So I told you guys last night that I thought that Nvidia was going to pull back, right? I told you guys, people were saying they wanted to get calls, they wanted to do this, they wanted to do that, right? I told you guys, watch out, right? I told you guys to watch out. You could have been right. You could have been right. Could have been wrong, right? Well, let's go into Nvidia. And I want to show you guys something, because if you guys don't start using weekly, monthly, longer term charts, which institutions use, right? Because they're not in they do not buy and sell to be in something for a week, a day, right? So if I pull up the weekly chart, you're going to see some negative divergence here. And this is what really led me to believe maybe it was the S&Ps. Well, yeah, it was the S&Ps, but we did have this right here, guys. Let me pull that in for you. Right? I've brought up the volume last night. Right? I showed you guys you don't need a chart. So let's go into that real quick. There it is. Right? There's your negative divergence. I knew it was there. This is a weekly chart of Nvidia. Right? That's a weekly chart of Nvidia. And you can see the negative divergence with a new high. Right? New high, lower high. Obviously after today, but that didn't happen today. This already started. Look at these tails up here. Look at the amount of selling that was up here. All right? They're selling up there. So, no, what am I doing? Let's go to the daily chart now. Same thing. So, what I want you guys to look at that, guys. So, what I want you guys to start realizing, so these things are good. So the title of the stream is Stop Being Lied To. What do I mean by stop being lied to? I mean, really, stop being lied to. Stop being lied to a lot of people that come on YouTube and whatever social media site to sell you a product. That's fine. You want to buy a product, go ahead, right? The product works, it works. It doesn't, that's completely fine, right? But some of the ways that they try to tell you, right, and jam down your throats that you need this, you need that, you need this, right? Professional traders need this. Listen, the only reason I have a few things is because of taxes, right? Because I am consistently profitable, right? I lose a hell of a lot less, and you guys have seen it ever since I've been here. My losses have been damn near break even, if not profitable, but I'm down because of commissions, right? I do try to play options for you guys, so I can help you guys entries. You know, at least you can use what I'm doing and see what it is that I'm doing, and maybe come up with your own way to do it and things of that nature, right? I try to help you guys be in liquid options, right? High volume, high open interest, right? We want to nail down the entries, right? We know we get a huge move in a direction, right? You need to really understand theta. You need to really understand it because you're going to get that big move, and I don't want it for you to take 4 or 5, 6 years for you to realize this, right? I'm in a trade, I'm in options, right? I don't care if it's a weekly, 2 weeks, 3 weeks out. I know when I get that move, that when I get a bounce back, I know, depending on that price action, whether, if depending on where I purchased it, right? If I buy right, I know that I'm going to, like, I get that big, decent move. That's going to be the majority of the trade, right? That's going to be the chunk of that money out of that option. Unless you have a day like today where you're going to have like which we didn't have that big of a day, but I don't think I don't think the S&P's put in a 2% day. Maybe we did a 1.5%, 1.25%, right? It seemed pretty big, but unless you have a crazy, like, a type of day where there is a catalyst for a huge drawdown, right? There's not much more you're going to get, because what's going to happen is that it's going to pull back on you, and then you're going to have this time factor start to play, right? Time decay, theta. You're going to have this time factor where if it doesn't get back to that that price point where it bounced from and get further in a timely manner, it's just going to start eating it up, especially if you're in weeklies. And I need you guys to, like, really understand that. But what I want to get into is the fact of, like, buying products. Here, we offer you this, we offer you that, we offer you this, we offer you that. Okay, good, great. If you're new, you're not making any money, you want to learn how to do it, that is great, right? That's good stuff. If you've been doing this for a while, or if you start to get to a point where you're profitable, I really want to solely focus on the fact that you don't need it. I don't need it. I don't even use it. I have some of it. I have Squawk Box. I have all that stuff, but I don't need it, right? I have CNBC. I have the internet. I have a Squawk Box that I don't even use. I don't even use it. It's only a luxury, right? Because if something happens that is that big of a move, it's not going to, you don't have to be the first to the party is what I'm getting at, right? So the fact that a lot of people come on and say, you need this, you need that, this is what it takes, this is what you need to succeed. No, it ain't. It's not, right? You can succeed without spending money on products. I assure you, because I did it. I did it for years, right? I still do it. I don't buy a bunch of products. They're more luxuries than anything else, right? You can go on free internet sites that give you your top gainers of the day, right? You can get your top gainers of the day. I see me, when I trade, I play news. I want to play news. Why do I want to play news? Because I know if it's going to be that big of news, or it's going to be a market moving catalyst like Boeing. There was some news with Boeing. It's going to bring liquidity, or it's going to bring volume. That volume is going to bring liquidity. That liquidity is going to bring a decent RVOL, right? So those are the two things that I try to help you guys with. Knowing your ATR, your average true range, right? Is it a technical setup? Is it a news catalyst setup? Okay, it is. You got volume, great. What's the ATR? What's the ATR on a volatile day versus a non-volatile day? A stock puts in $3, $4 on the regular from high to low. On a volatile day, it puts in 6 to 9. Maybe it hits 10. Maybe it's that big, like Nvidia today. I think it hit, or AMD, it hit about $10, right? So trading can be frustrating, but it doesn't have to be frustrating. And you don't have to be lied to about, you need this, you need that, right? Why did I think Nvidia and AMD was going to sell off? Well, I'm not stupid, and I know there's going to be profit taking, number one. I've got negative divergence on the charts. I mean, look at this selling, right? Look back here. There is selling. I do this all the time. You don't need charts to tell you what's going on up in this area. And you have negative divergence, guys. Look at the RSI here, right? You've been putting in new highs on Nvidia, and at the same time, you've been putting new highs on the stock, and the RSI has been putting in higher lows, right? But the analysts are good at their job. This is from last quarter, and they've raised guidance. So whether they make that guidance and you have a blowout quarter or not, there's relative weakness there. There is slowly, who is buying up there, right? People want to own it, yes. But I'm going to tell you right now, decent money hasn't, whoever hasn't gotten in on this thing already, they're not buying it up there. They're not buying it up there, along with everything else that we have going on, right? I just told you guys yesterday that AMD, Nvidia, I was going to be shorting more than likely, no matter what. Or it was a no play. It was either the downside short for me or nothing, right? I came on last night and I said it, right? So yes, that's that. I don't know what else. I had some other charts and stuff that I wanted to go over with you guys. So let's go over that AMD and S&P trade. So the S&Ps I was short after I had taken a position on AMD. So why was I pretty confident in AMD? Right? So these are some telltale signs that you guys can start using to, kind of have an idea that you might want to put your foot on the pedal, right? You might want to put your foot on the pedal. This was a beautiful setup, guys. We have been talking about this 100-day. Matter of fact, we've already played this 100-day short. We've been doing it on a bunch of stocks, right? Let's go into... So this blue line here is going to be your 100-day moving average. Longer term trend, AMD's putting in higher lows, or lower highs, guys. Lower highs, right? It's still hanging out up there, but it's still putting in lower highs. I'm going to go to a 3-minute chart. Now, if you did not catch the lesson from last night, I would go back and look at that lesson for a few reasons. Right? Last night's lesson was looking at when you go to trade, right? Having pre-market and after hours on. That saved me from that Tesla short yesterday. Right? And I told you guys I'm probably early on it. And I stopped. I made a, if you haven't seen that video, go watch that video. What I did was I took a short on Tesla. I got my movement. I turned pre-market and after hours off because it was on. And then I noticed something. Right? I noticed that the RSI on pre-market and after hours was way overbought, which made me also think about the short. Was just one reason along with many others why I thought about the short, right? Other than the fact that it was below yesterday's close and the S&Ps and a lot of the other stronger stocks were above it. So there's that relative weakness there, right? There's a relative weakness there, and I explained it all in the video yesterday. So a lot of those little things can make or break you because I took that position off green. Great trade, right? It wasn't a home run. I got to base hit. I got a nice base hit trade, right? So I let it do what it needed to do. I got back in it, gave it a little bit of room, stopped out. But because I had that green trade already put on and I managed my risk, right? And I continue to listen to my intuition. Like, yes, this stock is to be shorted, but not right now. The S&Ps are continuing to the upside. And I'm going to get into that, like, with what I think tomorrow. Right, with what Powell says, right? Because I think also, I'm just going to do it, I'm going to tell you right now and get it over with, because I also think Powell, the Philly Fed member coming out and telling you everything he told you today is an idea that they may not be raising rates anymore. They're going to look at the data, yes. But right now, they feel like there's a lot going on that's going to help this inflation case out. I'm going to keep it at that. Powell's going to say he's going to watch... He's going to be watching. He's going to be watching this. He's going to be watching the data and make their decisions, like, as time goes on, right? But the Philly Fed again hinted at cutting rates. Yes, the title and everything was keeping it, restrictive policy. Well, restrictive policy is balance sheet, not necessarily balance sheet, but balance sheet runoff, right? They're lowering their balance sheet. I don't know, I brought that up to you guys last night. People aren't talking about that. Look, they've been doing so. They're past SVB. They're past the banking issue, right? College tuition. He mentioned that. So I think Powell and them, they all know this, and I don't think you're going to get too much of a hawkish Powell because he's just going to come out and say the same thing like, "Hey, we're going to watch the data. We'll see with the data." I think they're done, right? I really do. I think with what could be going on in China, and this is why I'm not sure, and am totally leaning on the S&Ps, just us selling off just yet. We could have just put in a lower high, longer term, right? Because again, I try to tell you guys, unless something really starts to poke its head out, like a bank, right? Like a data, right? Something coming out with the data. Today's Thursday. Like I say, today. I love these days. That's all I'm gonna say. It's my little secret. So, I feel like they know things are taking their toll, right? I think even with a tight labor market, if things are continuing the way that they are with a tight labor market, and he did say that he thinks that the labor market needs to loosen up some, and we all agree, right? But there's so many other different things for people to do. Well, why is delinquencies up, rate of change higher than what it was in '08? Yes, probably because there's more people, there's more money, I'm sure there's that factor, right? But I feel like it's coming. And I feel like they may know it's coming, right? There's a lot of things going on that's going to help the inflation case, it's going to help that deflation case, I should say, right? So, and I'm trying to get better at these live streams, so don't mind me. And if you guys have any questions, throw them in the chat. If you guys have any questions, I'll be free to answer them. Stocks, trades, anything you want to know about me, I don't really care. You can ask me any questions. But again, I told you guys this morning that I was short AMD. I shorted it twice this morning. And then I shorted the S&Ps. So why was I really confident, right? I took this trade actually pretty early, and my target was 105 at least, was this area at least. And we got there by 10:30. I ran out of profits. I should have never sold it, knowing, because I said this to myself with the type of candles that are put in. When I tell you guys that you're going to see when you see momentum candles put in that are about the same size and it just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes to the upside or to the downside, that's algorithms just sound like these are just patterns you're going to see over time as you get into your trading career or just being in the markets for the first time. You're going to notice these type of days where the candle structure is important. And I told myself at 105 to 105.50 area to just like keep holding it because I've already taken profit, right? This is my second entry. This is the second trade on AMD short. And I told myself to just wait, and because we still have tomorrow, we could get a gap down. I felt even if we got a gap up, that there was just so much momentum to that downside with this type of structure, right? That I was okay. I was okay to hold it to the end of the day, and I didn't. I was really tired. I was actually really nervous that I was going to make a mistake and fall asleep and maybe hit some buttons or something. That fear is always there. But I have hotkeys and stuff. But again, because I've just moved the stream, until I get my other monitors and stuff over here, I just did it on my phone this past week. And that's the other thing, guys, is access to capital as fast as we have it, right? You can move money around. I think that's one of the problems that we had with the banking issue. So this morning, I seen, just out the gate, guys, right out the gate, look at this volume, right? You can't deny when I get this type of volume, my decision is practically made, and I know what I'm doing. Look at this, right? I'm going to draw a box. And this wasn't even the highest. So when you get things like this, Look at this, right? Look at that. And this is, and we're talking all morning. This is where the candles were, not just, uh, you know, not just the first two candles of the day, right? It out. This is why I like to play. When a stock, you didn't need to know, you didn't need to have a tool or give your money to somebody to say, hey, semiconductors were in play today, right? There's a news catalyst. Nvidia had great earnings, but the technical part of this trade was you have negative divergence all over the place, from the daily, the weekly, right? It's putting in higher low or lower highs. It's screaming that profits are being taken. It's the run is probably over for a little bit. So I took AMD today. And I also took the S&Ps. Right, I took AMD off. Last profit was at right around that 105 area because I ran out of contracts, guys. I ran out of contracts. It was a huge trade. They were over 100%. When my entry on those, I think was, I can't remember, 60 some cents. I think it was like 67 cents, right? Again, I had the first trade on. I'm talking second candle that we broke up. Right on that pop up was where I got short the first entry of AMD. Right, it was a great day today. This was the first entry. Right on that pop, right back up to the 9 EMA. Try to hold that low of day yesterday, or that lunchtime low. Yesterday's VWAP actually. Right, you're trying to hold this area here, and I knew it wasn't going to. You get a volume bar like this, backed up with another one. I was just waiting for that lower volume to come in. All right, so we'll go over a couple trades, and then again, like I told you guys, I took the S&P short, and again, I stopped the stream this morning because my little girl over there, Abby, my cat, my beautiful, probably the most beautiful cat there is in the world, kept me up until 3 o'clock in the morning. So I was really frustrated this morning. And then to come in and, not even I didn't have coffee on, I got right to it, and again, it was like 2 hours of sleep. So I ended up, I was really frustrated. So I had to just come off. So, and then listen, in that experience, I realized I have to control myself. And I told you guys in the beginning, you're going to see the good, the bad, the ugly, right? I've been very lucky with, I haven't been lucky managing my risk, but as far as these calls, right, as far as the timing, all I do is say what I see, right? And I try to put it out there for you guys, but I'm not pressing the buttons for you, double top on the S&Ps. This was my first. I was waiting for this. I said, if the S&Ps for some reason, banks are down, right? I haven't seen healthcare, but I didn't know what energy was doing. But I've noticed that banks have been getting tore up. Those those mid cap, large cap tech companies have been getting smacked, like Roblox. Like it's at a yearly low. It's put in the low for the year. So I said, we are either going to reject. If we don't reject this and we find support up here, I'm not going to fight the trend, right? I didn't know what was going to happen. I mean, a few things could have happened, but I was really adamant that this was not going to hold. That first red candle, after that first break of that level, I was like, double top. I told myself, I'm like, we're putting in a double top. There's no way that the S&Ps are going to continue. So what do I want to look for tomorrow also? I gave you what I thought Powell was going to say. I think Powell is just going to talk more of we're going to see the data, but I think deep down with the Philly Fed member coming out today saying he hinted to them cutting rates could be, first quarter of next year, or I guess it would be, so it'd be January, February, March. So, because I think they're feeling it, and they're kind of wondering what's going to go on with China. Right? I think that they're also like, all right, we don't know how bad this is going to get. And Powell has said the whole time, he doesn't mind if it gets too bad because they have tools to fix that. They'd rather not let inflation get to where, they would much rather things get bad and handle inflation. They would much rather handle inflation than to not handle inflation and have inflation run rapid, because if they can tame inflation and things get bad, they can help unchange the bad as far as the economy. I know, I'm sorry guys, this is a bad live stream, so I do apologize. We'll go over some trade ideas, and if you guys have any charts you guys would like to go over, you can let me know. But I took a short also right into on this break here. This is a 3-minute chart. On the break of that, because it popped itself back up to it, I was literally short. I got short again right here, right there. I got short right there on the breakthrough. A lot of people today were trying to be long, and I didn't understand it. I came on yesterday, and I told you guys to watch out, that I think we have some downside coming, right? What I want to see tomorrow. So if you look at, I want you guys to look at this, right? You see what did we do today? Today, we gave back yesterday. You gave it back. That tells you everything you need to know. All that work you did to the upside yesterday, which all it was a bounce back to the 50-day. What else do we have there? I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you that. Along with AMD. AMD pulled under its 100-day moving average. My second re-entry and take profit area, the whole trade on AMD was it breaking the 100-day again and retesting it, breaking the 100-day. What do you have right there? You have the 50-day moving average. So what you can do is you can watch the Qs. The Qs were the leader to the upside, right? The Dow was actually leading to the downside, believe it or not. I know, rare, huh? So I had the 50-day there. That's why I was also confident we were going to get that double top up there. And I was putting my entry as close to that 50-day, which is this red box, right? That's that red box is the 50-day moving average on the daily chart now. I was getting short the best I could into it because I didn't know that this candle was going to go this far up. So as it's going up, I can kind of instinctively feel and gauge as it goes up and it goes bang, I'm getting in, right? I can't explain it. It's just time in the markets, right? Time in the markets. So I was looking, I didn't know if we were going to get to 440, but I was really banking on this level right here. No, it was further than that. Let me do this, guys. I'm sorry. All right. So, yes, right here. This was my target, 439. So 440 pretty much, but 439. This was my first area that I was a little weary about. I think I might have took it off. That's weird. I don't know why it's not there unless I moved it. That's weird. Yeah, right here. 441. That's where it was. 441. Once we broke that, I got down to 441. I was good, right? I was good. I knew it had a chance to break. And so at the same time that we're at this 50-day, you had the Philly Fed come in and say what he said. And now you have Steve on now. So that's what I think happens tomorrow. What do I think happens with the markets tomorrow? Let me try and give you an idea. I feel like you may get a little bounce. We took back yesterday, so here's what I'm getting at is we don't have a single catalyst unless that is Powell, right? Unless that's the Fed giving us a catalyst for more downside, right? But there's not necessarily a catalyst. There's not another bank saying that they're having issues. So far, it's just chatter about China, and what does that take for the markets to really start worrying about China? I don't know what that is yet. We'll wait till we, if that starts to come about. So I think we're just gonna we're gonna just be it's just gonna be volatile again, right? We're coming into that time. It's a weak month. August, September are weak months. I think you're gonna have, and I told you guys 2 weeks ago, well, the day of the Fitch downgrade, that we were gonna have big up moves and big down moves, right? I told you guys that. So this isn't anything new. But that break of the 50-day, you work your way back up to it. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to watch the volume. Like I've been telling you guys, look at the selling volume that's been taking place, right? You got one green bar that, I'm talking this month, right? We're coming into the end of the month, guys. So other than July, but you still, even then, like to June, even June, right? If I were to, again, draw these boxes here, because people will pull up charts from Bank of America and all these other places, all you have to do is look here to see what's going on. You want to know what's going on? Look at the volume, right? You tell me what's going on. All right? You tell me what's going on. You tell me who's winning that battle. All right? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could have brought it down a little bit. Versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right? That's that's 2-1 to the sell side, guys, in the past few months. So just keep it in mind. Right? So what are you going to want to look for? You're going to want to look to be short bounces until something changes. I'm going to be looking to short if I get the opportunity back up there at 440. Right? I'm going to be looking to get short back up at 440. And we're already starting to bounce. You may not get it. We may come into a gap down tomorrow. But the thing is I don't think you get like a gap down in this crazy, like starting, because it's not like CPI came in horrible, right? It's not like the Fed said they're giving us they're going to raise it to a 50 basis points, and the market's worried that the Fed's doing too much, right? We don't have that. You don't have really specific type of news other than retail, right? Other than the little things that are going on, right? And I think today that what I wanted to get on that I didn't say was I think the markets took what is the Fed worried about for the Philly Fed member to say what he said, right? For him to say what he said, it's like, what are they worried about? For him to start to mention rate cuts, right? He said restrictive policy, right? Continuing restrictive policy. Well, that could mean a whole wide variety of things, right? Bringing down the balance sheet, right? Keeping rates where they are, right? Banks tightening, that can mean a wide range of things. But what was it that made him say we could start to see, lowering interest rates here coming up in the first quarter, right? Keep them where they're at for the rest of the year, or he said kind of raise it, but I didn't believe that. It's weird. You just have to know how to listen and really read what they're telling you, because they don't come on and say it for nothing. Again, one more time, I said it back before SVB when Minnesota, I know his name, starts with a K, but he came out and told you. He came out and told you that they're probably close to being done with rate hikes, right? And they kind of were. We were working on the back end. We've only had a few more, right? So I think we get a little bit more of that, right? I think Powell still says, hey, we're going to look at the data, right? And we'll see what we do. And we'll, in accordance to the data we'll get, is what we'll choose to do. If things get better and jobs... If we don't see a contraction the way we want to see it, if PCE doesn't come down, if CPI doesn't come down, we'll continue to raise. And he's not worried about overdoing it. He'd much rather overdo it and then loosen his stance on policy than to have CPI and inflation continue to run the way it is. So, a few ideas. Amazon. I want to see, again, if I'm going to be looking tomorrow. Now, I want to see the sense in the direction, because I don't really have a sense in the direction, but looking at a chart, whether we have Powell or not have Powell, I'm not sure if it's going to be that. It's going to move the markets, don't get me wrong. But I think at the end of the day, you're just kind of going to find yourself like, okay, we everything that we expected happened, right? He said everything we thought he was going to say. Amazon, we're a little bit. Now this is a 15-minute chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a few charts. If you guys like to go over them with me, that's fine. So Amazon's sitting at its 50-day. I want to see if Amazon starts to. I don't think it's going to break it. I think you might get a bounce because I think the S&Ps are going to bounce tomorrow. I want to see if we can get a bounce. I am looking to see if we can get Amazon a couple more days up, maybe into next week to break that 50-day. All right. We're going to start getting this 100-day to moving up there with it. So again, if you don't know, we like to help you guys picture what's going on with moving averages, how it all works, right? So you can start to paint a picture for yourself. So this area, I don't know why tonight's live stream is just so weird the way it is. It's maybe because there's nobody on. But it's all good. It's all good. I want to see if we can get a bounce on Amazon, and I want to look to see if Amazon can get back to like 134, right? That's if the markets bounce. We've had a clear base put in here, and I want to see if Amazon can pop itself back to 134.50, 134.65. So if you guys didn't catch last night's live stream, I wish you did. I came on here and told you guys a few different things. Oh, and I'm still going to look at Tesla. Let's bring up Tesla. Amazon hasn't really had any volume. It doesn't. I wouldn't even be too concerned with it. You're gonna want to see what Tesla. Nice double top there on Tesla. It didn't sell off as much as the others did today. Do you see that? So Tesla's been acting kind of funny. Right? Tesla's been acting a little funny. Tesla actually closed above yesterday's open. Right? And above the low. Tesla didn't put in a new low. It did it after hours. So Tesla's acting a little funny here. I want you guys to continue to. We're just going to keep it as we've been doing it with watching the dollar, watching yields, right? If the dollar's pulling back, you could look for a bounce in gold, things of that nature. I'm going to have more of a game plan and stop everything ready for tomorrow morning because we don't have very many people on. So, oh, here we go. I play the news, but focus mainly on low float stocks. Yeah, I feel you, buddy. I'm with you. Well, the past couple weeks since I've done this stream, I haven't really played any small caps. I almost did today, but I didn't. I mean, what am I to do? You know what I mean? It's like AMD and Nvidia. I tried mentioning that they were putting in bearish divergence on the daily and the weekly, and everything was setting up that your sellers are up there. Your sellers are at 500. Like, don't fight it. I listen, the analysts are good at what they do. Some of them are, at least. And we've already had expectations. They've raised guidance. It's been priced in, right? That expectation for their earnings has been priced in for the most part. And coming into the environment that we've had, how much, like, you're not going to have that much more upside just yet, right? It's going to take time for that. You're going to get profit taking on top of all that. But what did you play today? Were there any low float? Were there any small caps running today that you played? Man, I thought I had a better live stream coming tonight. Liz, I blame you. Liz made me nervous. Liz made me nervous. I'm blaming it on Liz. But so Tesla. Let me check this out real quick. It's so weird because it might bounce. I feel like it might bounce. Again, that's what I'm going to look for tomorrow, guys. I want to see if we get a slight bounce tomorrow. I just don't be surprised if it's not that it's going to be uneventful, You know, you're going to get some type of volatility tomorrow, but I just don't think that it's going to be too crazy where it could be. Don't get me wrong. I could be wrong. Powell come out and just say, you know, oh, we got work to do. I don't know what you guys are seeing or what you guys think's going on, but we still got a whole lot of work to do, right? He could still say that, right? I doubt he will, but, you know, so that's really all I got. We don't have very many people on, but I do thank you guys for joining us. Tonight, I will have a cart full of charts, right, for us to go over. I'll have them already ready for us. Let me see here. But see, everybody was trying to say this Head and Shoulders. Yeah, it's a Head and Shoulders. It's there, but it's a little too easy for my liking. And how are you gonna have a Head and Shoulders with an RSI and MACD that's way a little bit oversold? You know, you kind of want to get those things. And where's the volume at to the downside, right? You really want that volume cracking. Like if you were to pull up NVIDIA, even like TLT did a while ago, if you pull up like charts that have had these type of big, you know, monthly type of patterns on the daily, you know, for them to play out, you're going to see a difference in the volume and how it sets itself up to be able to be short and to be long on them, right? That's why I was not shorting here. I was like, everybody keeps saying the short gold because they see a Head and Shoulders. Like, sometimes it's a little, if it's that easy, you might want to rethink about what it is that you're doing. And like, you're probably not seeing something, right? Look at all the volume that was there, right? That was up there, but you know, here you're coming into an area of supply. The dollar was overbought. The 10-20s are overbought. They should pull back a little bit, if not at least consolidate, you know. So you want to be watching them. That's all. I apologize for the live stream tonight, guys. If you could, hit the like button, subscribe. I will read the comments. If you have any questions or anything you want to ask me. So that's all. Tomorrow morning, we do trade live right here on YouTube, Ivy League Trading, youtube.com. If you would like to join us, you can join us. I'll have charts and everything that I'm looking at for the day ready to go. Right? You did have today, we had some Boeing news. You had T-Mobile laying off. So there are some individual plays that you could be looking at. This is probably, you know, after a day like today, you got to watch, right? There's been a decent size move in pretty much all sectors of the market. So for us to get, like, I wouldn't come in the day expecting another day like today is what I'm getting at, right? Today was a day that you had to already be ready for to capitalize on. And if you come here and you ask questions and stuff like that, I can help you identify, hey. And I said it last night on the live stream. I said, what's tomorrow? What is tomorrow? I gave you guys a little sneak peek on what was to come today, right? I really hang on these days here. Boeing could get a bounce. So we'll see what news we wake up to tomorrow. We have Michigan numbers tomorrow. And Powell. You also have Christine Lagarde. You have Christine Lagarde at 3 o'clock and Powell at 10. So you may see a little bit of low volume pre-market and in the morning. But we'll see what the setup is. We'll see if we have anything. See if there's like NASCAR said, like small caps or anything that we could play. So I want you guys to remember that. The Philly Fed Harkin came out, Philly Fed member, and he gave us the lowdown, right? We already got the lowdown. That's the whole point of him coming on and talking with Steve Leisman. That's his name. I got it. So that's that. I don't really have too much more. I'm going to go run to the pet store. I'm going to go wake her up so I can get my sleep because I don't know why, guys. It's literally just been the past couple weeks, the past 2 weeks where she's like slept all day and been staying up all night and really messing with me at night. And I started to think something's wrong, but there's nothing wrong with her. She's got food. She's got everything. She's not, like, she's okay. So I don't know why it's changed, right? I don't know why it's changed. So I'm gonna play with her, get her tired and stuff, and she'll be on stream tomorrow. It's my cat. Um, she's so beautiful. I'm telling you, I got the best looking cat in the world. But you guys have a great night. If you haven't done so, hit the like button. We'll be live tomorrow morning around 7 a.m. Join us. Ask your questions. If you want to run through some stocks, what we'll do is we'll run through the news. We'll see what we expect for the day. Let's see where we open up. See what else we can capitalize on see what else we can capitalize on. I'm going to do some more work throughout tonight. But remember, there's a little bit of sentiment that feels like it's coming, but if nothing pokes its head out, right? If we're going to start getting into like CPI next month, like, we're going to have a whole nother month round of data coming up. We don't really have anything next week. Let's see here. We have Jolt's job openings. We do have S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index. Let's see here. And again, I want you guys to continue to look at these, to look at the data from around the world and see where these bonds are coming in at, right? You want to start seeing where, if you're starting to see a drawdown on the low end of the bond, which I think we're starting to see. Inflation rate for Germany, some gas, oil data for next week. Manufacturing PMI for China. That's going to be interesting. That'll be interesting right there. And that's on when? Tuesday? Man, Wednesday's actually pretty action-packed. Not necessarily for us, but kind of is GDP. But that is for Q2. I don't know. Is that revised? GDP price index quarter over quarter. That's the estimate. Okay. PCE. Let's see here. I mean, that's not PCE. That is just, don't even pay any mind to it, really. So this is going to be some important data that we have actually next week. So we do have core PCE next week, guys. And what day is it? Thursday. Next Thursday. I love Thursdays. I really do. I love Thursdays. So personal income, personal spending, core PCE, manufacturing from China on Wednesday of next week. And we'll go more into this stuff as the weeks go on. But tomorrow, if you don't join, we have ISM manufacturing. That's another big one, non-farm payroll. So we got some pretty big data coming out next week, right? For the end of the month, beginning the month of September. Naturally, weak months. Be safe. If you don't join us tomorrow, be safe, right? But if you want to, you can join us right here on YouTube, Ivy League Trading, youtube.com. And we will be here early in the morning going over the data, getting ready for the day. I'll have Powell's speech on here live if you want to tune into that, if you're at work and you want to tune into that. And that's about all, guys. Just stay safe, guys. Manage your risk, right? Manage your risk. If you're having trouble trading, I know you probably haven't found my channel or anything yet, but if you're having trouble and you do find this channel, you can email. My email is in the description. My Twitter is in the description. Post a comment or questions on here, right? I've been doing this for quite a while. I gave you guys a heads up. Everybody said that they should have been in calls. I knew I should have did this. I knew I should have did that. I don't know what it takes for people to stop saying that. Like, do you just need to buy it and lose your money? Is that it? Like, listen, tell me you don't understand implied volatility and theta without telling me you don't understand implied volatility and theta, right? Tell me without telling me. So, and I'm not being mean, right? You want to wait for those days where we have like durable goods and like some data, or the Fed comes out, right, and cuts rates. They cut rates and we play TLT, or we play, there's other ways that we can get where data can surprise, and you don't have to sit through an already, like, because what you're saying is you're already paying up in volatility. You're already paying up for a 10 to 14% price movement. You're paying for that. And you're paying that plus you're buying it and you still have to wait a whole night. You're getting 12 hours, if not hell, 14, 15, 16 hours, right? From 4 to 9:30 the next morning, however many hours that is. You're just going to waste that money on time decay, right? So there's a lot of people out there that really don't understand options, and it's okay. Maybe they'll get to, maybe they will, maybe they won't, right? I have videos that I'm still trying to put together with the editor and getting used to it and stuff. I would like for you guys to be able to get to a point where I know, like, I bring this trade up all the time. I think it was Coinbase, I think. But I got into Coinbase, and as soon as I got in, it just, boom, it drew down. And I'm like, shit. And I knew, I was like, man, it's going to be hard for me to come back from that one, like break even, right? Because when I got my order in, I don't know what happened, but it just flushed, and I got the back end of that, right? I got handed the bag, and then it pulls back up, right? So I just paid the most because the price action flushed. It flushed. So the premium jumped up, and I'm hitting the bottom, and it reverses. So that premium gets sucked right back out because it reverses and moves away from where I got in, right? And I knew I were to come up, it comes up to 90 MA VWAP, and I knew on that bounce back down, I'm not going to be break even if it gets to where I bought it, right? Having that understanding when you're in options, as you're going in, like as you're in your trade and knowing how these options work, because people say, do I scalp? Do I hold trades for a day? Guys, I've been playing options with you guys. I can short. I can just buy the stock itself. I can, but I've been trying to like help some of these people actually get good at this stuff, right? And start seeing and being in it with you guys, explaining what's going on, so you guys can start tying it all together, right? There's a reason when I get in at my entry and I get a big move in a direction, I'm taking like a decent amount off. There's a reason why. Unless you have a day like today where I just pieced them off every 15, 20 minutes at each target. Today was a momentum, downside momentum day. You don't necessarily have momentum type of days like we had today, every day. So if I'm shorting the high and it's coming down, I'm just going to play that high to low, and whether it has news or a technical setup, I'm not going to look for some, 8%, 20%, 15% type of move in the stock itself, right? I'm going to expect Tesla to move 3, 4%, whatever. I'm going to take the meat and potatoes off of that trade, right? I'm going to get my entry correct. I'm going to get that direction, and I'm going to send it off and give it to somebody else. I'm going to get back out of it. I'm going to give it back to the seller, because they're going to do the same thing. They're going to be collecting here in the next couple of days if it's in weeklies, right? So I need you guys to just know that it's important to really understand your options and know them, right? And I'm still working to, other than doing the live streams and stuff and other videos, to get some of this stuff out, right? It's just me that does it. If you find any of this information valuable, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Just be on your toes, right? Be on your toes, guys. You don't be shy. If you get that bounce, right? See where we get to, and maybe catch a little pullback. We had a decent sized move today. I think it's going to be hard to replicate that tomorrow. Just because we have Powell doesn't mean we're going to get big momentum. He may just say the same old thing, right? Which I'm sure he's going to. It's going to be on the questioning. I don't remember if he's going to take questionings. I'm pretty sure he is. So we'll have Powell live tomorrow. It should be another exciting day. This has been a crazy summer. If you have not taken opportunity of this summer, I feel bad. I feel bad because the markets aren't going to be like this forever. And this is the environment that we live in for an active trader. This is very rare, right? This is very rare. June, July, there was no summertime blues or whatever. There was no summer indulgence. It was every week we had data, we had volatility, and it was like, dude, the SPY and the S&Ps and these indexes are just getting rinsed out and done with. We're just, we've been wearing these things out. They've been moving so much. I wouldn't be surprised if they just put in 75 cents after this whole thing is over with, right? Go back to trading 50 cents to a dollar because it has nothing life. It doesn't have any life. It has nothing left. It's really been amazing, guys. The volatility in the overall indexes has been unreal. So I'm not going to sit here and blabber on. And again, if you find this, my goal is to, interview and bring on some other people from the financial world. Liz Ann Saunders is one. I've always had a thing for Liz, not like that, but kind of maybe like that. Just no, I'm just kidding. But just bringing people that have been in the game for a while, that have been in the institutional, that can actually bring some brains to the table and give you guys some type of education that I may not be able to give to you. Right? I'm just an active daily trader. I day trade, right? A swing trade. I know how to actively trade. I've called out energy. I can do for the most part. I am actually wondering what will be the next thing, right? I said energy. I was loading up on energy in 2020 when it was in negative. Fang, Oxy, One Oak, right? All that fun stuff. Fang, Diamondback. That's actually one of my biggest winners. So yeah, that's all. Just be careful out there tomorrow. Don't expect another move like today. Maybe you could. It all depends on what Powell says. Again, we'll have him on here live. So watch the dollar, watch yields, right? And then take your reasoning behind the trade off of that, right? Watch the euro, watch the dollar, the US dollar, watch the yen, watch yields, right? That's going to give you your it's going to be your cues. Find out, again, what's the leader, what's the lagger, things like that. But we'll do all that together tomorrow morning. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great night. I will see you guys early in the morning.